徐道长，救我！
今日唯有毁你道心。
幻家失传千万年的万幻天魔道，重现天日了！
金眼眶乃至阳之物，这云霞星之上，死期怎会如此牢狱
？Renegade immortal, episode 136. Liu Mei cultivates the myriad illusion, heavenly demon Dao. After cultivating the myriad illusion, heavenly demon Dao, Liu Mei charged into Wangyue planet and consecutively slew 3 ancestors. Yet she was severely injured by Wang Lin with a single finger. At the same time, the ancient ferocious beast Wangyue appeared. After Huan, a mid-stage ascendant cultivator from Thousand Illusion Star, invaded Wangyue planet, Wang Lin made his move and killed him in a single strike. Through soul search, he discovered that Liu Mei had also arrived in the Luotian star domain, and had even become the adopted daughter of Huan Wu Qing, ancestor of the Huan clan. Wang Lin pondered inwardly if Liu Mei dared to provoke him, he would kill her without hesitation. The news of Huan Dong's death was immediately sent back to the Huan clan on Thousand Illusion Star. As one of the top clans in the cultivation world, the death of a clan guard outside their territory caused a massive uproar. The recently returned ancestor was furious upon hearing the news, yet he suppressed the proposal to massacre Wangyue planet. Instead, he advanced the clan's blood replacement ceremony, deciding that after its completion, Liu Mei would personally handle the matter to establish authority. No one in the clan dared oppose his decision. Soon the Huan clan took action, setting up a star-sealing grand formation outside Wangyue planet, completely sealing the planet and forbidding anyone from escaping. Upon hearing of Huan Dong's death, Liu Mei showed not the slightest ripple of emotion. In her eyes, his death was no different from that of an ant. Standing by the window of a pavilion, she calculated that during the blood replacement ceremony, her master would transmit power to her. Even if it meant her cultivation would drop 1 realm within 200 years, she could still step into late-stage ascendant great perfection. As for the yin-yang void reality realm, she would have to comprehend it herself. She even believed that once she stepped into the second step of cultivation, Wang Lin, who once stood on Vermilion Bird Planet, would be no more than an ant in her eyes. Meanwhile, after killing Huandong, Wang Lin rode the silver dragon straight toward Yunxia planet, searching for a metal element vein to complete the heaven-defying bead. The planet was shrouded in dense fog that even divine sense could not penetrate, and terrifying roars echoed continuously. Wang Lin deployed the 7-star sword formation, using spiraling sword energy to break through the mist and descend deeper. After a long time, he finally emerged from the fog, only to find a world of absolute death. The land was cracked and barren. Rotting tentacles swayed everywhere. A dense aura of death enveloped the entire planet. Cities had long turned into ruins, wrapped tightly by grotesque tentacles. As Wang Lin flew forward, the tentacles on the ground suddenly retracted. A red cloud swept across the sky, and 1,000 Jianglong Wangyue beast roared as it charged forward. Wang Lin immediately recognized it as a parasite within an ancient god. His expression changed drastically as he quickly hid within a crack in the earth. Watching Wangyue leave, he deduced that this planet likely concealed the remains of an ancient god. Meanwhile, in the Alliance star domain, Situnan was being hunted across the entire domain. While fleeing in a miserable state, he shouted threats if pushed further. He would engrave the private secrets of the enemy sect master onto jade slips and spread them across the cultivator. Alliance. Even while coughing blood from injuries, he continued shouting as he fled, determined to enter seclusion again, vowing not to emerge unless he broke through to the Nirvana Scrya realm. Within the moon illusion pool of the Huan clan on Thousand Illusion Star, the blood replacement ceremony officially began. Tens of thousands of clan members stepped forward one by one to offer their blood. Even the ancestor cut his wrist using divine abilities to fuse all the blood and refine the purest Huan clan bloodline. Liu Mei stepped into the blood pool. The ancestor, with his second step Nirvana Scrya cultivation, expended his origin and lifespan to inject Dao intent and immortal power into her body. In just half an incense stick of time, he helped Liu Mei break through from early-stage ascendant all the way to late-stage ascendant great perfection. After completing this, the ancestor appeared much older. Before entering seclusion, he instructed Liu Mei to go to Wangyue planet and establish her authority through battle. Liu Mei set off alone, stepping through the void toward Ranyun planet. Meanwhile, Wang Lin remained hidden within the cracks of Yunxia planet. Even after the red cloud carrying Wangyue disappeared beyond the horizon, the shock in his eyes had yet to fade. He knew clearly this thousand-jang beast possessed strength no weaker than a cultivator who had just entered the second step Nirvana Scrya realm. He also recalled the records from ancient god Tusi's memories. This parasite had three forms. In its first form, fully extended, it was harmless. When its tendrils retracted, it entered a dormant second form. Once all tendrils extended to match the length of its body, it entered a lethal attack state. If encountered, one must flee immediately. Any hesitation would mean death. Suppressing the shock in his heart, Wang Lin made locating the golden flame vein his top priority and ignored the terrifying beast. He descended rapidly along the Earth's cracks. At the end, he used Earth escape technique, merging into the rock and continuing deeper underground. The environment below was eerie. Sticky fluid seeped constantly from the soil. If not for the immortal energy surrounding him, he would have been immobilized instantly. Along the way, he sensed many powerful presences, carefully avoiding them while spreading his divine sense to its limit, covering nearly the entire underground of Yunxia planet. Finally, at the deepest part of the planet, he found a golden flame ore vein stretching tens of thousands of li. A portion of it slightly surfaced on the opposite side of the planet, the place where Huan clan members had once extracted a small amount of ore. But as Wang Lin looked at this completely exposed vein, his brows furrowed deeper. Any ascendant cultivator could easily detect it with minimal probing. This abnormality felt deeply suspicious. Years of caution in the cultivation world made him suppress the urge to immediately collect the vein. Instead, he carefully inspected it along its length. Soon he discovered something even more unsettling. The entire vein maintained a perfectly uniform thickness, with none of the natural irregularities of a true ore vein. Instead, it resembled neatly arranged segments of a gigantic skeleton. The moment this thought appeared, Wang Lin froze. A storm surged within his heart. At that instant, the entire earth violently trembled. Countless tentacles extended from the ore vein, rapidly piercing upward through the soil and emerging from the cracks in the ground, swaying slowly. The familiar scene struck him like lightning. His pupils contracted sharply. He finally realized this was not a golden flame vein at all. It was the skeleton of Wangyue, and the Yunxia planet he stood on was itself a colossal Wangyue in deep slumber. A chilling cold swept through his entire body. Cold sweat broke out across Wang Lin's back. He finally understood why this seemingly easily obtainable ore vein had never been touched by any great cultivator. The moment anyone rashly tried to extract the bones, this ferocious beast would instantly awaken. Even a brief moment of its consciousness would be enough to crush any intruder. Those who had come here before had likely all perished. Only that Huan clan member who had taken a small amount of ore from the surface and immediately left had been fortunate enough to survive. Looking at the endless stretch of Wangyue bones before him, Wang Lin felt deep unwillingness. He did not want to abandon such a supreme treasure. Quickly searching through the memories of ancient god Tusi, he soon found a solution. Back then, after consuming the ascension fruit, he had fallen into complete madness and illusion, losing all awareness of external contact. If he could refine a sufficient amount of the fruit's medicinal power, and then guide it with a unique ancient god hand seal, allowing Wangyue, who only recognized ancient god bloodlines, to absorb it and fall into illusion. Then, while it remained asleep, he could safely extract the bones. Having made up his mind, Wang Lin did not linger. He immediately escaped from underground, mounted his star compass, and departed Yunxia planet toward Ranyun planet. Before leaving, he glanced back at the planet, his gaze resolute. He had already decided, once he gathered enough ascension fruits, he would return and claim the Wangyue bones. Along the way, he could not help but marvel. This Wangyue had slept for countless years, its body transforming into an entire planet. If it were to fully awaken, even figures like Ulxia Tianyunzi or Ling Tianhou would likely flee at the mere sight of it. Unfortunately, aside from the ancient god, it parasitized no one could control such a beast. Otherwise, bringing it back to the Alliance star domain would make it an unparalleled weapon. Meanwhile, on Ranyun planet, the ancestor of the Ran clan, Xiaoyao Sanren and Sun Shi, stood beneath the sky, their expressions grave as they looked at the star-sealing grand formation. They had already seen through the Huan clan's intentions. This formation was not meant for immediate assault, but to trap them here so that Liu Mei, who had just completed the blood replacement ceremony, could establish her authority. They had secretly sent away the most talented direct descendants of their clans, preserving their bloodlines. But their foundations were rooted in this planet. They could not relocate everyone without alerting the Huan clan. They felt resentment toward Wang Lin, who had taken the immortal jade and disappeared. Yet they also understood, even if Wang Lin returned, he would stand no chance against the Huan clan ancestor who had stepped into the second step Nirvana Scryer realm. At that moment, the Ran clan ancestor's expression changed drastically. "She's here." Sun Xi and Xiaoyao Sanren suddenly raised their heads, instantly sensing the lethal pressure descending from the sky. Ripples spread across space. Clad in white, Liu Mei stepped through the star-ceiling formation, her divine sense instantly locking on to the three of them. With no path of retreat, the three made their decision without hesitation. They ignited their primordial spirits, preparing to fight with their full cultivation. A towering battle intent surged across heaven and earth. Even in the face of an unfathomable enemy, they showed no fear. Yet Liu Mei merely spoke softly. Her gentle, melodious voice carried the eerie power of the myriad illusion, heavenly demon Dao. Instantly, the flames of the primordial spirit within Xiaoyao Sanren dimmed. In their place appeared complete infatuation and loss of self. Liu Mei stepped through the air. With her demonic voice, she shattered the will to fight of all three. Xiaoyao Sanren and Sun Shi quickly fell into obsessive fanaticism. Only the Ran clan ancestor, with his mid-stage ascendant cultivation, barely held on to his mind. Burning his primordial spirit, he shouted to break the spell, briefly restoring Sun Xi's clarity. The Ran clan ancestor unleashed palm lightning toward Liu Mei, but she dissolved it effortlessly with a light touch of her fingertip. As Liu Mei softly activated her demonic will, Xiaoyao Sanren and Sun Xi completely succumbed. They ignited both their primordial spirits and physical bodies, turning against their own ally and blocking the Ran clan ancestor. The three burned their cultivation and fought like madmen. Spells roared, shaking heaven and earth. Xiaoyao Sanren and Sun Xi's bodies rapidly disintegrated. In the end, they chose self-destruction. The self-destruction of ascendant cultivators triggered a catastrophe on Ran Yun planet. Spiritual veins shattered. The world overturned. Though the Ran clan ancestor withstood the impact, he was already at the end of his strength. Filled with grief and rage, he condemned Liu Mei for bringing disaster upon the planet. Yet she coldly refuted him, claiming she had never personally made a move. To preserve Ran Yun planet, he abandoned the idea of self-destruction. Before his primordial spirit dissipated, he revealed the name Shu Mu, leaving behind a final curse. As Liu Mei prepared to eliminate the remaining survivors, her divine sense locked onto Sun Xi's core formation avatar, hidden in the southernmost region. Just as she was about to act, she suddenly sensed a familiar aura from the starry sky. At that moment, Wang Lin returned to Ran Yun planet aboard his star compass. Upon noticing the newly established restriction, he immediately broke through and entered. And Liu Mei finally recognized that deeply familiar aura etched into her memory for years. After entering the planet, Wang Lin's divine sense had already located Liu Mei. Her beauty now surpassed the past, yet Wang Lin felt only vigilance and irritation. He appeared instantly 100 zhang away from her. Liu Mei had long sensed someone approaching and felt a hint of familiarity from him. She said nothing, merely observing. With a sweep of his divine sense, Wang Lin noticed Sun Xi's avatar below and immediately understood. The three had been hunted down by Liu Mei. He had no intention of interfering, only telling her to leave. But what shocked him even more, Liu Mei's cultivation had already reached late-stage ascendant great perfection. Such abnormal speed made him certain it was the result of forced elevation by the Huan clan ancestor. Though she appeared powerful, her foundation was unstable, and her Dao comprehension had yet to catch up. Liu Mei softly asked Wang Lin whether they had met before. Wang Lin coldly denied it, inwardly filled with disgust at her smile identical to the one she had on Vermilion Bird Planet. His voice turned icy as he ordered her to leave. A trace of complexity flashed in Liu Mei's eyes. She admitted she could no longer see through Wang Lin's cultivation. Wang Lin turned to leave, but Liu Mei suddenly called out his name in a chilling tone. He stopped, turned back, and admitted it coldly, warning that if she continued to pester him, he would kill her. A violent tremor shook Liu Mei's heart as past grievances surged forth. She pointed out that Wang Lin's uniquely cold gaze could not be disguised, and concluded that his change in appearance was to avoid her. Wang Lin, utterly disgusted, uttered only one word: "Get lost." Yet Liu Mei smiled. Her eyes softened into a chilling calm as she speculated that Wang Lin's cultivation had not surpassed hers. He must be relying on some hidden treasure. She declared that he would not leave today. The battle erupted instantly. Wang Lin unleashed a finger of oblivion. Liu Mei raised a light barrier to block it. The finger force collided violently with the barrier cracks spreading in all directions. From this exchange, Liu Mei became even more certain Wang Lin was merely at early-stage ascendant. Wang Lin, however, coldly pointed out the flaws of her forcibly elevated cultivation, suggesting her master likely had ulterior motives. Liu Mei dismissed it lightly. With a soft laugh, she declared this battle the final settlement of their vermilion bird planet grudges, and added, "I'll send you to reunite with Li Huan." Those words struck Wang Lin's reverse scale. Killing intent erupted. The seven-star sword formation roared forth. Liu Mei remained calm, raising a jade finger to her brow. A crimson glow surged, and before Wang Lin appeared a proud woman with phoenix eyes filled with killing intent. Hongdi. This was not merely an illusion. To Wang Lin's perception, her aura and presence were completely real. Hongdi coldly declared their grievances should end. With a wave of her hand, rose petals imbued with strange power swept forward. Wang Lin activated his sword formation, shredding the petals. She attacked again. The flower core transformed into mountain-like runes pressing down upon him. Wang Lin activated his Dao intent, summoning a Yellow Springs dragon infused with wind and thunder, engulfing the attack. At the critical moment, Hongdi tapped her brow again. A yellow glow flashed, and the figure transformed into a timid, frail girl. "Zhou." In a voice laced with demonic power, she called out, "Uncle." She looked at Wang Lin with fear, begging not to be abandoned. Surrounded by these familiar faces, Wang Lin's eyes filled with pain. He closed his eyes. He understood the essence of Liu Mei's divine ability. He softly asked her, how deep was her hatred to go to such lengths collecting fragments of his past to weave this tormenting illusion? Liu Mei's figure appeared, her face pale. She stared at Wang Lin, her eyes filled with overwhelming hatred. "You truly are heartless." Wang Lin's killing intent surged. "The ruthless one is you." Liu Mei's emotions completely lost control. She screamed. Back then, Wang Lin had used a lust-filled Dao soul to break her virginity, shattering her Dao heart. How would he explain that? Wang Lin frowned. That memory was one he also refused to revisit. He replied coldly, she had attacked first, and the Dao soul had been an accident. An accident. Liu Mei burst into hysterical laughter. Her voice was filled with venom and pain. Facing Wang Lin, she could no longer maintain the calm state of the myriad illusion, heavenly demon Dao. She said, since he called it an accident then today, she would return him an accident as well. She slapped her storage bag. A black mist surged out, along with overwhelming resentment that shook heaven and earth. The air darkened. The surroundings turned into a ghostly domain. Shrill screams echoed from within the mist as it rushed toward Wang Lin at a speed even divine sense could not lock. Onto. Wang Lin remained calm. He pointed with two fingers like a sword toward the mist. The fog parted slightly, revealing a pair of dull, lifeless eyes burning with resentment. The moment Wang Lin met those eyes, he was struck like lightning. A bloodline connection surged through him. It felt as though tens of thousands of thunderbolts exploded in his ears. He instinctively withdrew his hand, retreating several steps, staring fixedly at the mist. A piercing pain spread throughout his body. His expression twisted as he roared at Liu Mei. What is inside that? A strange smile appeared on Liu Mei's face, though her eyes were filled with pain. She laughed softly. There was no way Wang Lin wouldn't recognize it. She told a mortal tale of lost children whose souls follow their fathers, silently asking why they were abandoned. Her voice grew twisted and insane. She revealed she had refined this child for 100 years, turning it into a resentful infant. While it still had consciousness, she constantly told it. Its father had abandoned it. Its father's name was Wang Lin. She shouted, "You destroyed my Dao, heart shattered my Dao. Intent took my purity. If all that was an accident, then today, I return this special treasure to you." Wang Lin fell silent. A deathly silence, as if all vitality within him had been drained, leaving only endless deathly aura. No shock, no explosion, no defensive stance, only a terrifying stillness. Even heaven and earth seemed frozen by that silence. After a long time, Wang Lin softly said, "Thank you." Liu Mei was stunned. "Wang Lin, does your heart not feel pain?" Wang Lin did not look at her. He simply gazed at the figure within the mist. In a voice almost inaudible, he said, "You could refine him into a resentful infant. Then I can restore him, even if it takes 1,000 years, 10,000 years. Thank you for returning him to me." His gaze finally shifted from the mist to Liu Mei. The calm in his eyes vanished. In its place, a killing intent even greater than when he faced Teng Huayuan erupted. He stepped forward, his right thumb pressed outward. Yellow Spring's Dao merged into his finger, transforming into a thunderous strike. Finger of the Yellow Springs. It shot directly at Liu Mei. Liu Mei let out a muffled cry. Black energy erupted from her brow as she was blasted backward. Shock finally appeared in her eyes. She had not expected that despite being only early-stage Ascendant Wang Lin's divine abilities and treasures would be so terrifying. His battle power far exceeded his realm. Trying to run, Wang Lin pressed forward step by step. Another killing strike gathered at his fingertip.